Hello everyone and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host, Gavin Hatch. This week we're going to spend our time over in Disney's Hollywood Studios as it has been the center of a lot of talk about the future of the park that opened in 1989 originally as Disney's MGM Studios. Now this was my first time to the Disney park since the new ban on selfie sticks was put in place. The new policy does state that guests are no longer allowed to go ahead and bring selfie sticks into the park. So if you are caught with one, you will be asked to go ahead and take it back to your car or back to the hotel before you come into the park itself. It was just a safety concern because a lot of guests were using them inappropriately on attractions, which is just not smart. This past Sunday, one of the attractions, the Magic of Disney Animation, closed its doors as the park makes room for rumored additions based on Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and possibly even Cars themed attractions. Again, just rumors, but it's clear that big changes are on their way to Hollywood Studios. Before 2004, the animation building was very different from what you see today in the animation courtyard. When coming into the main entrance to your left, you may have noticed what appeared to be a large space used for a queue. And it actually was. The first incarnation of the Backlot tour that closed last year was loaded where the entrance to the Magic of Disney Animation was located, as you can see here. Of course, the Backlot tour changed over the years and was downsized, and the entrance was moved closer over to the Streets of America area. In the outdoor courtyard area, you may have noticed these handprints in the concrete. These are from 6 of the original animators that worked alongside Walt Disney himself and were alive when the park opened. I wonder where these are going to end up now that the attraction's closed. In the animation theater, you can take a seat and learn a little bit about how animated characters are brought to life. This 15-minute presentation was hosted by a cast member and Mushu from the film Mulan. I really liked this because it was always cool to see how the cast member would interact with the film on the screens above. The timing had to be perfect for it to look and sound like they were having an actual conversation. Towards the end of the presentation, guests would actually get to see a trailer for Disney's newest released animated feature. Again, back when the park first opened, this theater was used very differently and actually featured a film with Walter Cronkite and Robin Williams. Prior to 2004, if you were to go inside, this large open space full of interactive games and character meet and greets would have looked very different. Before the refurb, guests didn't have the opportunity to just roam around the building. Instead, they would take a 40-minute guided tour throughout the entire facility. A glass wall was once in place where you now walk downstairs to get to the lower level. Guests would look through the glass and see many offices and cubicles of actual animators working on films and projects. As you can see here, some of the viewing glass was kept, and for many years you can meet characters from The Incredibles up here. I'm not sure when that stopped though. Now 3 of the small offices were kept for guests to view from above, but these are more for just show now and not actually used for productions. Back in the day, this is where the in-between artists would work. Lilo and Stitch, Brother Bear, Mulan, segments for The Lion King, and even the ink and paint was completed here for The Little Mermaid. And that's just to name a few of the many productions worked on here. For those of you who wish to be an animator, there was an Animation Academy. It was a drawing class led by a Disney-trained artist. Guests would learn to sketch a Disney character, and they would keep the artwork that they create. The day I was there, the line was over an hour long for one of the very few last classes given. I actually noticed that some guests would finish a class and get right back in line for the next session. Speaking to the cast members, I learned that many of them have been working in the animation building for over 10 years. Now, none of them are being let go, but instead just transferred to other area attractions. A big addition, and maybe the most popular to the building after the refurb in 2004, was the character meet and greet offerings. This was the place where you could always come and meet Mickey Mouse, with a cool animated backdrop of the studio gates. This was also the place where you could do a meet and greet with Minnie Mouse. I loved how she had her own room and it was full of her awards, and if you look closely you can see these are actually Golden Mickeys. The Golden Mickeys is a musical revue-style stage show presented in the style of an award ceremony with characters from Disney films being nominated for awards. This show has never been performed at Disney World, but can be found on Disney Cruise Line and in Hong Kong Disneyland. This is another meet and greet offering that was pretty cool. In this area, you would be able to meet characters from up-and-coming or newly released films, such as Big Hero 6. Up until last week, this was the only place where you can meet Hero and Baymax, but maybe in the future, they will pop back up in the parks. You never know. Other things to do in the building were more interactive. Kids had these to play with, while mom and dad would probably take a seat and just relax in the cool AC. And on your way out, you could walk through the animation gallery that was full of artist renderings and paintings. It was another great place to escape the heat and the crowds for a bit. This is also where you could take a look at some of the many Academy Awards that Disney has won on their animated features. Now, I was happy to find out that the Art of Disney store is not closing just yet. The store that is full of many beautiful artworks for purchase is going to remain open until the end of August. The Art of Disney store is also located at Downtown Disney and other Disney parks. Now, on my way out, I went over to the opposite side of the park to check out other changes that have taken place. Due to lots of controversy with the Bill Cosby allegations that have been in the headlines lately, Disney decided to remove the statue of the actor last Tuesday. The bronze bust of Cosby was displayed in the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame Plaza. No word on where it's going or if it will ever return, but guests have been calling Disney with the hopes of buying it from the company, which I think is a little odd. On a lighter note, right next door, the Superstar Television Theater is now the Hyperion Theater and the new home to the Frozen sing-along attraction. You can see new signage for the theater was added, and the giant screen that was added when the American Idol experience opened is still in use for providing park information. I kind of like the character artwork painted onto the building, as you can see here. Well, that does it for this edition of Photo Finds. I would really like to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know if you've ever worked in the animation building, or if you've always been a guest, tell me about some of the experiences you've had there over the years. Until next time, make sure that you get out, have fun, and enjoy the parks.